What's up everyone, and welcome to Detox Proxy. I just pulled over at the side of the trail here because we're about to enter this campsite, and it's funny because someone just pulled out of it, just went past us here. You can actually see the trail they left on the road. It's starting to rain as we pull in. Now this is a new recreation site for the channel called Dennis Lake, just outside of Smithers. It's probably maybe half an hour, 40 minutes off the main highway. It says it's not suitable for like trailers and stuff, but I don't know, it didn't seem too treacherous getting in here. The road's a little bit uneven, but even just like a standard car could probably, or minivan could drive in. Actually, that's what pulled out of here, was a minivan with a kayak on top and bikes on the back and everything. So let's drive down in here. Fingers crossed there's nobody here. It's in the middle of the week, so I kind of didn't plan for anyone to be here, but someone just pulled out. Maybe someone else is in there. Another picnic table there. It doesn't look like anyone else is here. That's awesome. Here's the little dock. This one kind of looks a little bit more open over on this side. Okay, I think first I'm just going to do a quick walk around just to kind of check to see which site I want to pull into. Really happy that nobody's here because I kind of wanted a couple days away from society completely. Man, the view here is awesome. So this site is a little bit popular, and the reason for that is because there was a Netflix movie called The Mother with Jennifer Lopez that was filmed here. The only reason I found the movie is because I was looking at this wreck site. They did it in winter, and the whole lake is frozen, and they kind of whip a snowmobile right across the lake towards where this little dock is. I'm pretty sure that's where it actually comes in. And I believe in this opening right here, they actually had a cabin. The cabin was built here, and the snowmobile is all set up with explosives, and it goes into the cabin and blows the cabin up. Kind of get a better idea of the layout when I get onto the water, I think, because I did take some pictures to kind of compare. So I'm just going to get pulled up into my campsite and start getting set up. Kind of getting to the top of the lane here, and I found a fungus that I've never seen in the wild. I can't remember the name of it. Bleeding gums or bloody cotton or something. I can't remember, but it's really white, and then it's got those little red bulbs coming out of the end of it. I'll put a better picture of it right here. The stuff you see when you get outside and go for a walk. So as we come down the lane here, just over here on the left, there's a sign for the toilet, and then there's just a couple little trails kind of leading down to the actual outhouse. There's a little trail that kind of continues down through here. You don't have to necessarily take the road to get back to the campsites. And then over here just to the left, kind of starting it all off, we've got the little dock. It's kind of neat. Looks like these things will fold up right out of the water. I don't know if the hinges are just there so that they can have some movement or whatnot, but I believe these floating pieces can actually detach, and they can pull them out so they don't get damaged by all the ice. Just a view from here from the end of the dock. Still lots of cloud cover today so far. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of these wreck sites have the docks, but a lot of them are just busted up and have been left there all busted. And it's just from them sitting out in the ice over the winter. And over towards the center of the site, for whatever reason, there's a little fire pit right here. It's just got the sign, the wreck site etiquette, and pack your garbage out. This is like the first site, and it does have a fire pit there. And I guess, you should be parking over here kind of thing, and using the site from there, but the level ground is right beside the picnic table, so people are likely going to park there, and then you can actually probably launch out from here if you had a paddleboard, kayak, or canoe. But the parking is a little bit awkward for this camp spot, just because this site back here, the one in the center, really doesn't have any parking at all, except for pretty much right there. But it also has a picnic table and a fire pit, and plenty of space to set up a good sized tent. And then just through here is where I'm set up with the Forester. And I did use the traction boards under the rear wheels to get it leveled out. And then just off the back of the Forester, I've got the kayak set down into the water, just pulled up onto shore right there. Can go out anytime I like. And then right from there, my picnic table kind of set up. There's a lot of bramble and roots coming up out of the ground here, but the fire pit is way back over here, and I've just kind of been sitting here chilling out, doing a little bit of casting right from shore. Tons of fish jumping out of the water right around this whole little part sticking out. Really, the bigger fish, I can tell, are just almost in the center, a little bit closer from the center, kind of drops off to about 10 or 12 feet right there. And a quick look from this direction. This site that I have is obviously the biggest for sure. So a few things have transpired since I've gotten here. That cabin that was across from the wreck site, it looks like it's like a kids camp, like a summer camp, because maybe about 10 minutes after, like as I just got the kayak down to the water, like 6 paddle boards and kayaks came out onto the water with a bunch of kids. I've come over to the far end of the lake just to kind of, I'm going to start fishing from here. I'm going to kind of fish my way back. The wind's really got me on the move here, but I kind of wanted to give you an idea of where this mountain lake is. And this is Hudson Bay Mountain as far as I know. And it's got a lot of cloud cover at the top there, but the view here is stunning. There's another kind of mountain range over here on the other side. We'll get a better look at that in the morning. When I'm out here in the morning, the sun will be beaming down there. And it's supposed to be a really beautiful day tomorrow, so I'm really counting on it being like sunny and warm all day. So I actually think the fishing is going to be better over at the other end of the lake, closer to where the campsite is. But I know there's a little bit of lowland in here, and a bunch of reeds kind of growing on the edge. This lake's not very deep, maybe up to 20 feet or like 18 feet. It's not deep at all.
Well, good morning. I decided that I wouldn't film anymore last night just because, well, there wasn't really anything to film. Something did happen last night that was pretty weird though. Well, 2 occurrences. Is I was just sitting out here kind of watching the water, actually playing Futurama on my tablet. I had the earphones in and I heard this noise in behind me that was just so strange. I couldn't really make it out, so I popped out an earphone and kind of looked around and I didn't see anything. It was really dark. Didn't think anything. I popped the earphone back in. And then about 20 minutes later, like kind of like, I don't know if I was watching the next episode of Futurama or whatever, but I heard it again, but it was even louder and it sounded like it was the cooler. And when I turned around, I mean, it was dark. I couldn't really see anything at the cooler. I whipped out the earphones. I stood up. I walked over. And then as I get over to the cooler, this giant bird flies out of the tree above the cooler. And I can't even tell what kind of bird it is. It's as big as an eagle, but it's like, 11 o'clock at night. So I couldn't tell if it was an owl. It didn't, I don't know, because it flew away from me, so I couldn't really tell, but a giant bird. And it's the only thing I could kind of determine, and was trying to get into the cooler at 11 o'clock at night. So then right after that, I go back to go sit down again. Before I grab the tablet, so I'm not really stunned by the light of the tablet. And right in front of my chair, 3 or 4 feet in the water, a beaver passes by. And he's just slowly doing his thing, right? Probably doesn't even realize I'm there. And here's a little look out the window. It's definitely clouded over right now. The water looks pretty smooth over here, but a little bit ripply over here. Thinking, well, I'll probably just kind of stay in this general area anyway. I'm not really seeing any fish jump out of the water, but last night there was hundreds of small little fingerlings just jumping out everywhere. Maybe make up some coffee, get it on the kayak, do a little bit of fishing if I can, and then come back into camp and make some breakfast.
that the fish that's just top water. I mean, I just keep on snagging every weed. Oh, that's a fish on. I thought it was a weed, but... Oh yeah, oh wow, he's pulling now. I've seen the boat. He almost jumped right into it. Wow, this is a good fish. I'm just gonna have to pull this guy up into the boat because my net's in the water. Wow, look at that. It's a good rainbow. So there it is, and it's actually, when I look, it's actually a cutthroat. It's just got kind of a little bit of more of a rainbow marking on the side of it. Really nice looking fish. It's getting close to being the biggest that I've gotten this year, actually. So I've got my fish all cleaned up, but I don't think I'll be doing a catch and cook. I've just got too much food with me, and my chili's all defrosted, so I'll have that. But good looking fish. And breakfast is served. Oh, breakfast really hit the spot. The wind kind of keeps on picking up and dropping off. I keep on noticing a couple fish jump out of the water over there, but I think I'm gonna wait till a little bit later, wait for some of these clouds to clear out, get a little bit sunny hopefully. It's supposed to be sunny. Well, the fish won't stop jumping out of the water and antagonize me to come get them, so I'm gonna push out into the water for a little bit, maybe an hour or two, see what I can get. Well, the sun came out for a little bit there, but it's clouded over again. And I actually ended up laying down and taking a little nap. I didn't actually really fall asleep, but what woke me up was these kids screaming. And I was like, did people actually pull in while I've been laying down? And when I kind of snapped to, I realized that they were just out on the water right out here in front of me. So I ended up getting up. It's getting close to dinner time, so I'm thinking about starting some food. Just kind of chilling out here for a little bit and then get some chili on the go. There, this won't take very long to heat up. This is my homemade chili. I brought it out camping a bunch of times now. I don't normally add cheese to my chili, but I am hungry and it's either I use the cheese and toast or I have double the amount of chili. We'll try that. As soon as I start to feel that heat coming up through the bread, they're pretty much done. And yeah, that's the same knife that I was cleaning my fish with this morning. You can actually hear the crispiness to the bread. And dinner is served. Just after dinner here, and I've been casting with my longer rod, my old rod, and the line has gotten all tangled up. I mean, I've done a lot of casting from shore. There's actually 3 pieces of line coming off the reel. So I'm not gonna mess around with that anymore. And the water has gotten a lot smoother. This is probably maybe even the smoothest I've seen it since I've been here. Definitely starting to ripple out there, but close to us it's pretty smooth. But anyway, I'm gonna get this fire started. I got some kindling split and some wood that I've brought, and then just some charred wood that was in the fire pits here. Well, a couple branches. I don't have a lot really. I've got this one big guy. He'll barely fit in the actual pit, but as long as I can keep it going with a few of these guys, they're pretty good size. And I've got one more piece of split wood and a few more of these in the Forester if I actually need them. I just don't have a lot of small stuff, and I mean, it's not a lot of stuff around here. I'm probably going to bundle up some of this grass first thing. This should be a pretty good test for the super night function on the camera. It's like really dark out here, even though the campfire's going pretty good. I've got a lot of light coming off of it right now. Got the moon coming up over the mountains over there. It's getting pretty late now. It's probably getting close to 11 o'clock, so I'm gonna jump in the Forester soon and just go right straight to bed.
Good morning. Well, to my surprise, and I really wasn't expecting it today, of course the weather hasn't really gone my way, it is actually raining. It's raining pretty hard out there. It's just the forecast didn't show rain at all, except for the first day that I arrived. And fortunately I've got everything inside, so the only thing getting wet really out there is that lawn chair, but it's got a bag to go in anyway. And I guess ultimately the weather has decided whether or not I am going fishing this morning, and I'm not going fishing anymore. So I think what I'll do is just kind of lay down here for a little while and kind of get a lazy start to the morning, get the kayak up on the roof and get packed up, pull down the tent, probably stop in town to get something to eat, just because I don't even have the tarps or anything set up. I wasn't expecting rain, so I don't really feel like getting wet this morning to get some food, and I'm gonna get wet enough packing up to get out of here.
And there, I'm all packed up and ready to head out. Would I recommend Dennis Lake? Absolutely. The place is a very scenic spot. It's a really nice lake, and actually fishing wasn't too bad. I'm sure, you know, earlier in the season and later in the season it actually gets a lot better. But I'm really glad that I caught that one trout. It is a good sized trout, a little bit bigger than what I'm been catching all season so far. Now the site itself is a little bit tight, so if you're doing some car camping or tenting, you're all good. If you bring down like a teardrop trailer, well, you could probably back it into a spot like this. You got a little bit of a turnaround here, but anything bigger than that, you're just gonna get stuck down here. So until my next recreation site review, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.